YouTube, what it do? It's your boy TWV, and we are here for the Monday Night Raw recap. Monday Night Raw came on extremely early yesterday. It was, I want to say, 2 p.m. Eastern time because they were in Dusseldorf, Germany, or Dusseldorf, whichever way you pronounce it. So it was a really good episode. I had to watch the episode twice, basically to kind of analyze everything and make sure I got my thoughts out properly. Since it did come on so early, kind of was still in the midst of work while watching it, so I had to watch it over. But really was a short and sweet show in my opinion. Really a lot of color by numbers, straight to the point, advancing storylines, and creating some new storylines in certain segments. But with that being said, let's get into it. So to kick off the show, it was Rio, which is Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, the new women's tag team champs. Basically come to the ring and celebrate their win, and then basically like, hey, we're not just going to hold the titles just to hold the titles. We're taking on all comers. So anybody that wants to challenge us can, step to us. So then that's when Liv and Roxanne pulled up, and they stated their case. Not Roxanne, Liv stated that she never lost the belts, which is true. I think she had to let Roxanne take her place because of injury, so technically she never lost the belt. So she was actually true in that accord. So when she was giving her side of, hey, we should challenge you for the belts, that's when Bayley and Lyra came out, and Bayley and Lyra have been a tag team off and on since last year's WrestleMania season. So I would definitely like for them to get a shot at the belt as well. So then after that, they stuck their claim, and they had a little bit of back and forth. And then the Kabuki Warriors came from the opposite side of the ring and pulled Rio out of the ring and started the brawl. So all the teams ended up starting the brawl, of course, which then led to basically a triple threat tag team match getting announced later. And the winner of that went on to Saturday Night Main Event to face Rio. I like the segment, short and sweet. Like I've been speaking of the women's tag team division so highly. Over the last 12 months, they have made that belt extremely important. Like starting with just Becky and Lyra having it, and then after Becky and Lyra lost it, I want to say Charlotte and Alexa had the belt for a while. They were putting on great matches between SmackDown and Raw and NXT. My only thing is I like this segment, but I did feel like since we're pushing the tag team so much in the women's division, that we should have got Nia and Lash over there. I feel like they will bring it up probably on SmackDown Friday in a segment if they're not in something completely different. But let's get crazy. I think the women's tag team championship should be the women's elimination chamber match this year. Like whoever wins the Rumble, they go pick a match, and then whoever's kind of not in the tag division for the elimination chamber like portion, I guess. I don't know if it'll be like a number one contenders gauntlet, whatever the way they want to do to get the second person to WrestleMania. But I feel like with just how much they put into the women's tag team division, they definitely should deserve a huge spotlight on the road to WrestleMania. And Elimination Chamber would be dope. I remember they did it with the men's tag team championships. I want to say, was it 2019? If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. But yeah, I remember there was a tag team for the chamber. Women's had a tag team for the chamber as well. I want to say that was maybe 2017, 2018. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. But yeah, straight to the point, kicked off the show really well, set the tone for the rest of the night. So with that being said, let's get to the next segment. The next match was Bravo Americano versus Javon Evans, and this will be Javon's first match as a official member of the WWE Raw roster. And man, Javon Evans is just an amazing talent. I said it last week when he did get called up during a commercial break, but I've been a Javon Evans fan for a very long time, since he signed with NXT. I didn't really know about Javon previously before that. I heard he was in Defy Wrestling tearing it up, but once he came to WWE and came on NXT, I instantly gravitated to him. Just his energy, his athleticism, his charisma. Like, he checks off all the boxes, and like I said, he's only 21, so a superstar in the making. Like, all the veterans that he's been around. Randy spoke highly of him. The Miz just spoke highly of him on Chris Van Fleet's podcast today. So he definitely has a bright future ahead of him. He's one of those people to look out for. Like, he's in that realm with like Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Obafemi, of just that new echelon of black talent that's coming through the WWE on the men's side that is going to be household names and staples of the company for years to come. Downside to this match, I don't like that Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne are Americanos. So Bravo Americano is Tyler Bate, and then Pete Dunne is the other Americano, and then Ludwig Kaiser is El Grande Americano. So it works for Ludwig Kaiser, but I didn't think he needed two stablemates, tag-alongs. I feel like Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne could have got put back into the tag division instead of doing this. I'm not gonna say it's stupidity because when Ludwig does it, it's fire. But these two, they like, you can see them underneath their mask. You can just tell like they're extremely annoyed. But it's like, you know, I'm living the dream. I work for WWE, but it's just like, you know, they're more talented than that, and I feel like they underneath the mask, like, man, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, and I know one day if they do interviews, they'll definitely speak about how they probably either they loved working with Ludwig, so they were cool with it, or they fucking hated it even though they were cool with Ludwig. So just a little gripe right there. Javon did get the win, and then he had a little post-match promo. I think it was during a commercial break, but I seen a tweet where they showed it live on Netflix on the overseas side. So that crowd was definitely just feeling Javon, and that's crazy energy to have at just 21, and the crowd reaction already. So it's onward and upward for Javon. So I'm definitely excited to see where he goes from there. But with that being said, let's get to the next segment. The next segment was CM Punk cutting a promo, basically to let the fans know that the road to WrestleMania does go through him now, because he is like the gatekeeper. Of course, he's the world champ, so yeah, the road to WrestleMania does go through him. And basically looking for a new challenger since he had defeated Bron Breakker last week in his world title match, and he has moved on from dealing with the Vision for right now. Just to jump off into another not side idea, but I do think Bron wins Rumble or Elimination Chamber, and that way he does get back to Punk for WrestleMania. I think he does get his moment beating Punk in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. I would not be surprised if that happens. Like, put the rocket on him if we're going to go that hard, or Dark Horse Obafemi, but Obafemi could, you know, become WWE Undisputed Champion over there on SmackDown. We don't know what brand Oba's going to end up on yet, because they're showing vignettes on both shows. I wonder if they're just going to keep that running until the Rumble, and then if he wins the Rumble, whatever champion he decides to face, and then he would be on that brand, building that program. That would be really dope, just to keep the mystique alive. I mean, we got 2 weeks now till Rumble, so we can definitely do something big there, like solidify him as a main eventer like they've been doing with Trick so far, as he's been on the main roster. But Finn Balor does come out to interrupt, saying that Punk spoke about him 2 months ago, and Punk ended up telling him like, hey, am I going to face the Finn Balor like of old, or am I going to just face the Finn Balor of the Judgment Day? Basically telling him like, looks like you lost your way, lost your luster a little bit, like, basically without telling, like, you kind of been cool with being complacent. It's like Punk knows he's better than that. The world knows he's better than that. The fans know he's better than that. Finn knows he's better than that. So we are going to be in Finn's home country next week. I do not see that we have another hot potato belt moment, but at the same time, Finn eating the pin would really annoy me. So I'm conflicted on going into that match on Monday. I want to say in Sheamus's home country next week. It's technically Finn's too, but I want to say they're in Sheamus's country. I don't know where Sheamus is from off the dome, but I'll put it right there. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on that segment. I'm excited for the match because I want to say this is the first time Punk and Finn faced each other. So this technically would have been a dream match a couple years ago. So it's happening. So that's dope. But I don't need Finn eating the pin. Like, I need a Finn Balor career resurgence. And I think however they get out of this match, it has to be like disqualification or something. Finn can't eat the pin because Finn needs to be able to circle back and be like, I could have beat you, I almost beat you, I had you beat, whatever. Like, and I normally hate like DQs and no contest finish, but for this match and a match later on in the evening, I'm cool with it. So we will circle back around to this match and segment and everything next week as we see the results, and we will continue from there. But let's get to the next segment. Next match was the triple threat #1 contenders tag team match for the women's tag team championship. So it was Bailey Lyra versus Roxanne and Liv, and then the Kabuki Warriors. It was a great match, fun pacing. They were flying around everywhere, tags in and out. Kairi Sane diving to the outside. It was a really, really great competition, great match. Like I said, the women's tag division has been elevated, and all six of these women did their best. And I want to say that would probably be match of the night for the show if Gunther versus AJ Styles wasn't the main event. So this was the second match that I did thoroughly enjoy. It was only 3 matches on this card from when I'm mistaken, so this will be the second best one. Javon's will be third. But they went out there and showed their talent and why, from like I just said in the opening segment, that they deserve to have the Elimination Chamber spot, because I think that would be a great match to put on in the chamber this year versus having 6 individual women, because I don't think we have 6 individual women that could go into chamber because everybody's in a tag team, or it would be a very unorthodox chamber and we would have to have some NXT call-ups in there. Not NXT call-ups, but NXT superstars. And only 2 superstars that I could see could get called up for a Elimination Chamber would be Soul and Zarya. So just to jump to fantasy booking, it would be Soul, Zarya, Jordan Grace, Charlotte, because I'm not trying to put, it's hard to make one because I'm not trying to put anybody in the tag division into the match. So it would probably be a lot of NXT people and then a couple of sprinkles of some random people between Raw and SmackDown. But it's not that many just standalone people between Raw and SmackDown. You would have to put like Maxine in there, but Maxine's in a feud with Becky. You would have to put Becky in there, but she's the IC champ. Not saying she can't be in there. On SmackDown, you would have to put Julie in there. She's a US champ. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do make the women's chamber. But I'm a huge advocate, and I'm waving the white flag for a women's tag team championship chamber. It just makes the most sense. You can get multiple, instead of 6 people, you can get, pause in there, 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. You get 12 people in there instead of 6. I don't know why I just had to do the math like that. That was crazy. But yeah, you get 12 people in there instead of 6, and you can make some magic in there. But the team of Liv and Roxanne ended up picking up the win because Kyrie didn't see that Liv tagged in on Roxanne when she threw her to that side of the ring. So then when she threw Roxanne out, when she turned around, she got caught with the Oblivion. 1, 2, 3. Liv sneaks in and picks up the pin. I think this is the second time she did that in the match where the person's not paying attention, and when they turn back around, boom, she's hitting them with the finisher. So I like that she's not queuing up into it. It's like she turned it into an RKO a little bit because it's like slick coming out of nowhere. And I like how the camera angles are like panned to a certain way where you don't see her run into it. You literally just see her jumping off the ropes and flipping into the finisher. Liv's finisher has always been dope. Definitely something different. But yeah, I like that they're going to go face them now. Only downside now, technically it's a Judgment Day Vortex again, but Liv and Roxanne versus Rio is definitely an amazing match. So I'm not going to complain too much about it. So with that being said, let's get to the next one. So the next segment was Raquel Rodriguez basically speaking about her upcoming match against Stephanie Vakir. So she had like a quick little promo, and then Stepha came out. She ended up walking away from Steph, faking out the refs and everybody that comes out from the back when somebody does get like squashed or beat up real bad. She faked everybody out. She hit Steph upside the head after Steph cut a little promo really quick, like saying she's not backing down, and she's, her foot injury would not stop her from defending her title. And then Roxanne snatched the belt off of her waist and slapped it on her ankle, slammed her ankle on the ground. So I like where the storyline's going. I want to see if Raquel does get her big moment. I don't know if they're gonna have Steph hold the belt till Mania, but I do like the way they're presenting Raquel. So I wouldn't want her to lose per se, but I wouldn't want her to win at the same time. Since we're on the road to WrestleMania season, I want to like have these feuds dragged out. Is because we have a whole Rumble, and then between February to May is going to be kind of like a blur, like Elimination Chamber. I want to say is at the end of February. So then you got a month to build to that, and then that March to April part is where they really light the gas on the feuds. So I feel like we can build those feuds up that 5-6 week window we got from post Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania. So I like how they're positioning this. Huge Raquel fan. Been a huge fan since NXT. She is the only person from the NXT Big Three of her, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca to not hold a world title on the main roster. Rhea Ripley and Bianca held world titles multiple times. She's held a tag title, but like the true upper echelon world title, she has not got there yet. And I think this is WWE positioning her into her moment. So I'm all for that, and I cannot see where that goes. Not to say Steph title reign hasn't been good or bad. It's been pretty decent. I think Naomi ended up being pregnant and things like that really did change a lot of the trajectory of where things were going. But they still did make the most of it. That's why I think they had, don't remember which Bella is back in WWE, but that's why they had the Bella inserted to kind of build her up. Because I think Naomi was supposed to maybe lose a time or two against Steph to build Steph's credibility in the women's division, but they had the Bella come and do business, which I'm not mad at. But Roxanne, oh my gosh, not Roxanne. Roxanne, not Roxanne. Oh my gosh, Raquel will be the champ after WrestleMania. Book it and ship it. But let's get to the next segment. The next in-ring action was Penta and Dragon Lee versus Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. And this was a great tag team match, but it wasn't really about the match. It was about the storyline that we were building from there. So Braun Breaker was nowhere to be seen all night, and then different little segments. Adam Pearce was speaking about it to Paul Heyman, like, yeah, if you see Braun, tell him, basically lead a build or don't cause no trouble, or whatever. But you know how that goes. So Braun ended up coming out during the match, interfering. He ended up spearing Penta and Dragon Lee. Basically, match is over. Then in the background, like, Bronson Reed is squashing Penta and Dragon Lee with tsunamis, and then Adam Pearce came down, and then Braun lost it and grabbed Adam Pearce and shoved him into the corner and all of that. So Braun has snapped since losing his world title match to Punk, and I like that the edge they're giving Braun now, because now he's even scaring the members of division. Like, they were even panicking, like, when he had Pierce yoked up in the corner, like, yeah, Braun, like trying to pull him off of him and stuff like that. So then after that, Braun left the ring and all of that. Him and Pierce were still going back and forth. Then in another little backstage segment, he suspended Braun indefinitely, and then right after that, I think Heyman walked in, and Pierce was basically like, control your man, and Paul Heyman was like, you the one that put your hands on him first, so remember that. So I like where they're cooking with this storyline. Like this, I feel like this is Braun Breaker's like rocket strap moment, because he had an incredible performance last week with Punk. That's match of the year already for me. Just like the first one to set the tone for the year. So WWE probably seen that as like, oh yeah, time to strap the rocket ship to him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has an amazing Rumble performance. If he doesn't have an amazing Rumble performance, which I doubt, because I think he had like 8 eliminations last year or something crazy. I do see if he doesn't win the Rumble, he'll be right back in it for Chamber and have an amazing Chamber performance. I would have him do what Brock Lesnar did a couple years ago, and have him eliminate everybody, just dominate everybody, like just flatten everybody in there. But then you got to have some people that he can go flatten. So somebody has to be the fall guy in that situation. So we will have to see who will get into the Chamber, because there's going to be a lot of big time players between the Rumble and Chamber this year. So I would be excited to see where that goes. But with that being said, let's get to the main event. The main event of the evening was AJ Styles versus Gunther, and man, they have been building this match phenomenally. Since John Cena's last match when Gunther made him tap like a bitch, well, that's what Gunther keeps saying. Right after this, they transition right into AJ. So AJ is basically defending Cena's legacy, and you made him tap out. Well, I'm gonna make you feel what he feel, and I'm gonna make you tap out. So a lot of this match was AJ Styles basically trying to get Gunther into the calf crusher to just inflict that pain on him to make him tap out. Great back and forth. Of course, when Gunther gets into the ring, it's an amazing match. This is just a teaser of what they're really going to give us for WrestleMania. I did see a tweet where they said since AJ did lose, AJ did end up making Gunther tap, but the way Gunther tapped, the referee didn't see it because it was on the opposite side of him. So Gunther tapped on this side, but AJ and the ref were on this side. So when he tapped, AJ released the calf crusher and got up thinking he won, which he didn't. Gunther with a powerbomb, 1, 2, 3, matches over. But in the tweet, it said that AJ is going to chase Gunther like how Shawn did Undertaker when he lost the first time after WrestleMania and then put his career on the line. I think AJ would do something similar like that. Who knows if AJ does wrestle the whole year or if his storyline is booked for him to finish his career at WrestleMania, which I wouldn't be mad about because I will be in Vegas for that WrestleMania. So I would, if it goes that way, see AJ's last match and last WrestleMania match. That would be definitely a dope idea. They haven't done that storyline since Shawn, and that would be something really cool. Then the next night, AJ, says goodbye to the fans and walks away. But I think they probably do have a retirement tour for AJ planned as well, I'm assuming. That just depends on how much WWE does love and respect AJ. AJ has been there, I want to say 10 years this year. So why not end his 10-year with WWE with a retirement tour and wrap it up again Saturday night main event. We could probably do it in Atlanta, Georgia. He's from Gainesville, Georgia, so why not just do it in Georgia and have a moment there? But that's like super fantasy booking all the way to the end of the year. I do really think that they're going to go with that Shawn Michaels-esque, I got to chase you to, get the win that I deserve, and, I'm willing to put my career on the line type of thing, which I'm not mad at it. But like I said, this Monday Night Raw kind of just played in the building storylines. I thought we were going to start getting qualifying matches for Royal Rumble, but I'm assuming, like they do every year, 20 of the superstars, they're just going to throw a picture up of them, and then the next 10 on the men and women's side, they'll qualify, and then there'll be a couple blank spots where a legend shows up or somebody returns. Like Chris Jericho probably will be returning, so I wouldn't be shocked about that. But I want to say next week, I'm assuming they haven't spoke about anything Royal Rumble related, which is weird. Next week will make it basically 2 weeks out from the show, so I doubt they would do anything the week before the Rumble, but hey, who knows. But with that being said, it's your boy TWV checking in, checking out. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.